Well, good morning, everybody. It's One Leeds, it's Connor. We're back with another episode. It just keeps going, baby. How are we doing, everyone? Listen, I'm sure you're doing absolutely fantastic. Well, Leeds top two after last night. A tough win against Watford, of which Tom Cleverley said they dominated from the 15th minute onwards for the next 70 odd minutes, or to the 70th minute, I think he said. Which, you know, in actual truth is probably not far from it. I wouldn't say they dominated, but I think they were right in the game. And I would say to Watford fans, it's probably the toughest team we've faced at Ellen Road this season. Maybe. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But before we start, everybody, you know what to do. Make sure you're commenting on the video, liking, subscribing. As always, we went to 4,300 last night. So shout out to all of you who were in the building. And make sure you check out the Patreon as well. Everybody, listen, we had loads of members come over to the WhatsApp group yesterday, which was really good. Really good community over there. A bit more personal as well. We've got Snapchat now, One Leeds. Make sure you follow it for just exclusive sort of bits and all this sort of good stuff. So make sure you do that. Quick and easy thoughts, quick and easy updates. But yeah, everybody, let's get into your three things, shall we? So number one, everybody, a win is a win ultimately. Leeds have got it over the line. I think it was a bit of an arduous performance last night. Could you look at last night and say that was a little bit more of a gritty performance? It was more of a dirty performance. It was one of those where Leeds didn't play well, but we'd spoken in the preview shows about Leeds not playing well and winning, and that was the hallmark of some of the Marcelo Bielsa days, the 1-0s, the 2-1s, the 3-1s. It had to happen at points where you weren't at the pomp of your game. You weren't at your Charltons with Bielsa. You were coming in and you just were a little bit lesser, but you were able to get the job done. Barnsley 1-0 at home being the sort of key example there. But overall, I thought Leeds were okay yesterday. I think there was a key moment of which you could identify why Leeds dropped off a little bit, which maybe certifies why a certain individual is so important to Leeds. But I think overall we got the win, and this team's playing tonight, of course. If we'd have kept it 2-0, we'd have gone top of the division. Obviously, we are second on goal difference now, but I feel overall we came back into the game a lot more when Joseph and Dan James came on, which was a good indictment of the team. I felt for the Ramazani substitution, Leeds really sort of dropped off a little bit and we weren't really able to get in our flow, have that out ball. But I think overall, Leeds got the win. That is the most important thing, everybody. And we need to keep an eye on that one because we don't want to take ourselves away and be upset by that. But listen, is it the same euphoric feeling as Sheffield United? Absolutely not. One, that was a derby. Two, we weren't as good last night, has to be said. But of course, you've got to take into consideration the amount of injuries we've still got, which seems to be overlooked now. Rothwell and Tanaka are doing so well. But as well, it's another game in a short space of time, and that's 6 points out of 6. Number two, everybody, what else? It's got to be our Tanaka, hasn't it? Another man of the match performance for me, just simply controlling in that midfield. The fact that we've got him at this, never mind at the club, but at this level, he's staggering. Obviously got relegated, didn't he, with Bundesliga 2 side now, Dusseldorf, and if he'd have been playing in Bundesliga 2, that'd been even funnier because that is a lesser standard than what the Championship is, but he is just becoming the hallmark at the minute of which Leeds can't really have out of the side. When Ethan comes back, there's a conversation of Ethan and Rothwell, although I think that's still up for debate, but I would more than welcome my favourite player back into the side, and Ethan Ampadu, of course. But I do look at right now with what we see with Al, and he's just completely undroppable under any sort of pressure from a good midfield. Last night I thought Chad Fedzadze was pretty decent. I thought that Sissoko was a little bit more quieter, but you could tell he was trying to impose his physical nature on the game. But the sort of wiry midfielder that was getting forward in the number 8 in Chad, let's call him, was decent. Got a shot off, good save from Meslier, decent palm away. And I thought, even when they were getting into the game, when the ball came to Tanaka, it's just his ability to turn left, ability to turn right, ability to pivot. You just see the class difference, the absolute class difference, let's say, between him and Alaye Gruev. There's no conversation to be had there. Tanaka fills that combative, physical, defensive role as well as Gruev, and obviously he's more competent on the ball and getting forward. So Tanaka is the all-round player, and it's going to be difficult for Alaye Gruev now. Really, really difficult, in my opinion, to get back in, because this guy's come in and he's absolutely taken the game in the division at this moment in time by the scruff of the neck. That's 4 games of which we've seen just a real unbelievable talent at this level, and his ability to get Leeds out of trouble, his ability to just drop in between the centre-backs and dictate. and be comfortable on the ball in any situation. He's constantly asking for the ball, That's only a good thing for Leeds United, and long may it continue. We always like to have a bonus one of these, everybody, but we'll stick on the one which is probably a little bit more controversial now, and it is Man or Solomon. Now, there is a really decent Watford account out there who I massively respect, probably the best Twitter account from a rival fan. Apologies to a lot of you guys, but I just respect a lot of what he says. I think he's bang on the money. And he was mentioning last night out of the blue about Man or Solomon, and he was mentioning sort of like maybe a little bit of selfishness with his play. And I hadn't seen it like that, and I watched a little bit of the game back this morning, and I kind of saw that a little bit. And this might sound incredibly harsh because he's come back from injury. I just don't like his play. That's it, and that's what a lot of people were saying in the chat. It was, Connor, you've been a bit harsh on Solomon, you've been a bit harsh. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, people. 100%. Of course I am. He's a Leeds United player. I'm in full support of him, and I have to say this. You've got to listen to what I'm saying here, people. You've got to listen to what I'm saying. I'm going to give him my full support. I back the lad 100%. He's a Leeds player at the end of the day. But he's nowhere near, he should be nowhere near a starter for me. Nowhere near it. I think you saw a little bit in his play where he was trying to be, he's maybe a bit hasty to get a shot off. He was encroaching on that Dan James side as well, of which James, you could tell, was getting a little bit more frustrated. And I just think his pace, his endeavour, even his trickery and his sort of ability to go on his left and his right, I don't think there's that much difference between him and James. I'm not seeing X factor. And even in the whole game, everybody, when he was at the peak of his powers and he was, this isn't anything to do with his injury. It's really not. I just watch him and I think he's very, very, very predictable. He narrows Leeds United's play, and there's an obvious way of which he's going to go with Ramazani. And to be fair to James at the championship level, there's a bit more of an unpredictability. And I think it's more difficult to stop James wide right going down that flank than it is to stop Man or Solomon cutting inside and having a mediocre shot. So, listen, I'm all about him getting back into the side, getting back fit after maybe being a little bit rusty. But it's not that. I was saying it against Hull. This was my entire comments against Hull, and I know he got a goal and did well. But overall, his play is something that I don't like. His play is something that slows Leeds United down. His play is something that doesn't give Leeds an outball. And his play is something for me which advocates him being a substitute. And for me, I'd be going James, Nonso, and 100% Aronson in the next game. I think that is the way of which you've got an outball, you've got pace on the attack, you've got counter attack, but you're not really losing anything putting James on for Solomon at the minute. And I think for someone who's come in as the big signing, which he was, I think even in the 70-minute cameo he's just had, Dan James has just come back from injury, and James showed way more in 15 minutes than Solomon did in 70 minutes for me. So that's got to be something looked at, and it's a big conversation to be had. And the final one, everyone, I will just leave to you. Is it going to be Peru? Is it going to be Joseph? Let me know in the comment section below. I think we saw way more from Joseph again. Obviously, he missed the chance, didn't he? But still, I think overall in the game, the impact that Joseph has is way more beneficial than what Peru gives, I should say. But let me know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. Fantastic. We'll leave it there, everyone. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree with what I've said? I'm sure a lot of you will do about Solomon, but please listen to what I said. It's not about me not liking him or anything like that, or not supporting him, or being harsh because he's come back from injury. This is pre-injury as well, from what we saw. The explosiveness just isn't there, and he can't go either side for me. And I think that's a bit of a problem. But let me know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. It's been a pleasure. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in a bit.